it is, the star of this video, the cured ham. I've cured it myself, I've smoked it myself, sliced it myself, and tasted it myself, and it tasted really good. Happy with the results. Looking forward to doing it again. Going to show you guys how I was able to take a pork leg and turn it into this ham. It's morning time, day before Easter. Gonna get ready and smoke this pork leg, turn it into some ham. Been curing for just under 3 weeks now. Seen my previous video, showed how to cure this thing. Actually didn't have quite enough time for the curing to be complete, so I injected it to kind of accelerate that. Now today we're gonna smoke it and find out if curing that I did worked out and did its job or not. One of those things I feel like it's either gonna turn out and be really good and exceptional, or it's just gonna be really bad. I don't know if there's gonna be a middle ground on this one. What I'm gonna do is some seasoning on it, use some rubs. I've already trimmed this thing. When I was doing the curing process, I trimmed a lot of the fat off. That was recommended to do just to help the curing mixture, the curing solution, to be able to get into the meat better and faster and quicker. So I went ahead and just did that way. So I don't have to worry about trimming it today at all. There's not really any fat on it. Get on my rubs and put them on. The rubs that I chose to go with today, done this before, never smoked a ham like this before. Don't really know what to use. I'm just kind of guessing and just doing what I think tastes good. First one I've got is this Big Daddy Hills Smoky Honey Barbecue. So I think this one's going to be pretty sweet. It's going to be good for ham, good for pork. But because it's got that honey in it, I think that's kind of going to blend well with ham. This one, it's a granulated honey that's in here. It's kind of cool. It's big, huge crystals that are in there. And then the other one that I've got is this Mother Cluckin' Oink Rub, also from Big Daddy's Hills. Why this one? Because why not? It's a good one. It's a good one for pork. It's a good one for chicken also. That's why they call it what they call it. Works really well. What I did is I just took half and half of each, put them in this little spice shaker, and I'm going to use this. So I always like to combine them together and then mix them around and put them on together. So I could just mix them more even that way. And then we're just, yellow mustard for the binder on this. I have no idea how long this is going to take to smoke. And I've never done this before. I know that it's 27 pounds, 13 inches across, 6 inches thick. We're going to find out how long it's going to take to smoke this thing. One thing I do know is because it's got the bone running through the middle of it, the bone is definitely going to slow down the cooking of it and make it take longer. It's also going to be, the area in the middle, thickest part in the middle by the bone is where I'm going to probably try to put my meat probe. I don't want to touch the bone, but I want it to be closest to it because that area around the bone is what's going to take the longest. All the instructions that I found and all the information I've been reading about say that if you're going to eat the ham right after, right away or shortly after you're smoked it, to go ahead and smoke it to about 145 and then pull it off and slice it and eat it. I'm not going to be doing that. I'm going to be eating this tomorrow on Easter. Doing this the day before, again, because I just don't know how long it's going to take. I want to make sure it's done on time. Or what we're doing is smoking it today, let it rest a good long time, and then put it in the fridge. And I'll reheat it tomorrow. Because I am not eating it today, I'm going to smoke it to 165, which is what's recommended to do if you're not going to eat it right away. And then tomorrow I'll reheat it to 145. Gonna go ahead and get started with this thing, get the rub on it, and get it in the smoker, get this thing going. Have this thing ready to go. This is going to end up being my bottom side, so it's not going to be the presentation side. Because of that, I'm going to season this side first. I'm not going to score this thing. Everything that I've read says the whole purpose of scoring a ham to make it so that when smoking it, that the smoke can penetrate the fat. Because I've trimmed all the fat off and gotten most of it off, and it's not a super huge layer of fat at all, I'm not going to be scoring this thing. I'm just going to smoke it the way that it is, and it shouldn't need to be scored because no fat blocking the smoke. I'm going to try it this way this time. If it doesn't work out, next time I'll try scoring it. Probably going to go a little bit heavy on the seasoning. No real reason why I want to go heavy other than it's what I want to do. So when you're doing something for the very first time, I have to wing it a bit and make sure I get all the sides all the way around. When I was trimming it, I cut off the part of the meat back here, exposed the bone. I just felt like this was so thin and so small that it was just going to dry out. It wasn't going to be great. Decided I was just going to cut that off and not even worry about smoking it. Less smoking, hopefully it takes less time. Now I got the top side. You can still see the injection holes on here from before. Back half is completely cut off. No skin on this thing. Got rid of all of that. When I cured it, help with the curing because the curing is a big part of it and it's a long process. Curing is what's going to make all the difference where this goes from being pork to being an actual ham. Trying to make this our Easter ham. Happy Easter to everybody. I know the time this video comes up. It's not going to be a thing anymore, being seasoned all the way around. I just like to use my hand just to kind of block it, keep it from just, going right in the counter. Probably put a little bit of extra rub on the front here, just because this is the part that's going to face the fire. It's going to get the most heat at all the sides. One instruction that I found said that you should smoke ham at like 325 degrees to keep it from getting into the stall. I guess things get into the stall pretty quickly, and then to keep it from just taking too long to smoke. I don't know that I'm going to start off that high, but we might end that high. My plan is to kind of start off where I do with any other meat, start off at around 255 to 265. Where I'm going to start out at. I think it looks great. Really happy with this one. Let's go ahead and get it in the smoker. One thing I wanted to show before I put this new smoker real quick was just these little granulars from the rub. Hopefully you can see them okay. So these granulars are actually the honey granulars that I was talking about that's in smoky honey barbecue rub. Outside here to give an update on the ham, coming along really well. This outside is kind of starting to dry out a little bit, but it's really forming up nicely, kind of like glazing over almost a little bit. I really like how the bark is just starting to sit in on it. I'm happy with this thing so far. Still won't know how this thing's going to taste. It's going to be like ham or pork until we slice it up and try it. Happy with the results of the actual smoke and the actual bark itself, which is what I can control right now. I'm just going to keep it going right now. It's been in here for about 4 hours. The internal temp is about 85 degrees, so still got a ways to go. Been keeping the smoker right at around 255 to 260. Back for another quick peek, just checking in on it. Bark is really starting to form up now, really starting to get dark on it. Like the way this looks. Smells great. Smells really fantastic. Been in here now 7 hours in total, I guess, up to about 120 degrees right now. Gonna spritz these dry ends real quick. Got the ham here, it's all smoked, and now it's time to start slicing this thing up and testing it, trying to see what it tastes like. Not entirely sure how I'm gonna slice this thing just yet. From what I've been told, there's kind of two bones. Like there's the shank bone here, and then eventually there's like a bone that goes up at the hip that goes that way. You have to cut around. It has a really nice bark to it, but that bark is leaking, so I can't really see where anything goes. Just gonna try to do my best. Try to just kind of cut off large sections and then slice them. And I think if I ever do this again, which I probably will do it again, I may, after I get done with the wet brine and curing it, I may actually slice this up into boneless pieces and then smoke it that way. Gonna go ahead and just try cutting this thing and see if we can get some pieces off. So far, haven't hit any other bones. Man, this thing smells so good. I just really hope that the curing worked and that it comes out nice and pink. So far, it looks like that's the case. Some kind of a bone right there. Oh yeah. Pink ham. Perfect. Pink all the way through it. What do you think, camera person?
It looks good.
Yeah, looks like ham, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Smells good. Smells really good, I think. So just gonna try to keep slicing this up. Gonna try to slice this against the grain, of course. But I'm gonna try to cut this into a little bit of a smaller piece.
Look at that.
Got my ham tester close by. Gonna test this thing and tell us what he thinks. This is one of my kids. His favorite food is ham. He's gonna tell us how it tastes and if it stacks up. How does it taste?
Good.
Does it taste like good ham? Is it the best ham you've ever had? The worst ham? Okay ham?
It's not as good if you made it glazed.
So make it glazed next time?
Yep.
Okay.
That is really good.
Kind of debating on whether or not I wanted to do glazed or not. The next time we'll do it. Is it really salty?
Yeah, it's good.
So it says it's not really salty. It says it's just good. Here you go. Want to try some? What do you think?
Tastes like it's from a restaurant,
Yeah?
except better.
It tastes really good. Definitely tastes like ham. Doesn't taste like pork, which was the goal. I'm going to go ahead and finish slicing this thing up. I'm really happy with it. Happy with the results for first time. I think it's going to be good. I think people are going to be eating this tonight. Are going to enjoy it, which is what matters.